One of the lessons that I've been contemplating from one of my mentors, his name is Hendricks, is this. Gay will say, life is all about circulation. What is circulation? Circulation is movement. Now, Bruce Lipton, the author of Biology Belief, defines it this way. Life is movement. In that book, he says, you take two cells, one alive, one dead. They both have the same components. The difference between these two cells is one is moving and the other is not, right? Same components, one's moving, the other's not. The one that's moving has the spirit of life imbued within it. You know, look at a park with kids playing. You've gone to a park, you've seen a kid. What are the kids doing at the park, right? Kids are running and jumping and sliding and playing all kinds of movement. You see the grandparents at that same park. What are the grandparents doing? Imagine them right now. See them in your mind. What are they doing? Well, chances are you're imagining them sitting in a park bench, right, watching the kids. They're not moving. Which of those two groups are closer to death? Right? It's the grandparents. Now, when I go to a park, I have this dynamic in mind, and so I make sure that I'm not sitting on a park bench watching other people have life, but instead I'm playing. I'm usually the monster, and I'm chasing the kids. I'm going down the slides. I'm climbing. And you probably don't know this about me, but I'm 72 years old right now, actually. And well, I'm kidding. I'm not 72, but my goal is to be a 72-year-old person that when I go to the park with hopefully one day my grandkids, I'm the one playing and keeping moving, because movement is life. The key to life is circulation. So if we're going to feel better in our mind, if we're going to feel better in our heart, if we're going to feel better in our body, then the key is to focus on how can I create more circulation in those three areas. So let's start with the body for a moment. How can you create more circulation in your body? Well, I hope that you're someone who exercises. I hope that you're someone who works out, because there is a distinct difference between when I'm working out versus when I'm not. You get your blood flowing, you get the sweat going, at least 10 minutes a day. Get yourself sweating, because it's the blood that moves, picks up the toxins, puts it in the sweat releases the toxins, and we feel a whole lot better. There was a period in my life when my kids were just born. I was used to working out at night, but I didn't want to work out at night because I was taking care of the kids. And so there was a phase where I wasn't working out, and I could absolutely feel my energy level drop, my spirit drop, my emotion drop, my attitude drop, all because I wasn't having that circulation of body. And so I had to make a choice. I had to make a lifestyle change. And the choice was, even though I'm not typically a morning person, if I am going to work out, I've got to change my lifestyle. And so I started waking up at 5 a.m. to get my workouts in. And in the beginning, I drug myself out of bed because I was still going to bed at 11:30 at night. I would drag myself out of bed and start working out. Eventually, I learned that if I went to bed at 9, I could get up at 5 and I would have a full night's sleep and I would feel great. And so that was 6 years ago now. I've been waking up at 5 in the morning, meditating, working out. And here's what's fascinating. I actually like that pattern now way more than working out at night. Working out in the morning makes me feel like, wow, I've still got the whole evening to play with my kids, to have fun. And my whole day feels like it starts off with an accomplishment. So what are you doing to create circulation in your body? Be intentional about that, because as you do, you will raise your vibration, you will raise your mood, you will raise your energy level. Let's take a look at the heart for the moment. What is circulation of the heart? Well, I believe circulation of the heart is giving and receiving love. It's just like the breath. You can't just inhale and hold it in. You'll pass out, right? You need to both inhale and exhale. You also just can't exhale and blow it out. You need to inhale. The same is true for circulation of the heart. You have to both give love, but also allow yourself to receive love. So let me ask you this, which one is easier for you? Is it easier for you to give love? Are you more of a giver? Or is it easier for you to receive love? But it requires both. I remember there was a time in my life, in my early 20s, I was building my career. I was very much being self-centered, kind of focused on myself. And I was in a sales job, and my sales just stalled out. They flatlined. I wasn't improving. In fact, I was going into a sales slump. And I knew as I reflected, oh my gosh, I've just been focusing on what can I get? How can I get more success? And I was just focused on me. And so I made a conscious effort to start volunteering. And I volunteered for this organization where we went and got toys and supplies, and we took it into the barrios. The barrios were extreme poverty, people sleeping on dirt floors, people having plywood walls for their homes, tar paper roofs, just extreme poverty. And my heart broke when I saw these conditions. And when we brought the kids the toys and we brought the parents supplies, there was this huge wave of gratitude that washed over me to be a part of something that could make someone else's life better. And when I saw the joy in these children and the smiles on their parents, my heart cracked open even more, and a huge sense of gratitude for being part of making a difference in their lives washed over me. When I went back to work, my sales increased, but that wasn't really the point of doing that. That was a byproduct of being a person who's giving and receiving love. I had focused way too much on receiving, and I needed to enter into more giving. Now, if you're the person who you give and give and give, and your green edge of growing opportunity is in the receiving, then here's a quick technique that you can enter into. And that is to ask yourself this question. Tune into your heart and ask your heart, what part of me needs my love and acceptance right now? What part of you needs your love and acceptance right now? And tune into that part of you. And notice what your heart shares. And whatever part of you needs your love and acceptance, send a warm beam of love and acceptance to that part of you. Wrap yourself up in that love and acceptance and allow yourself to receive not just from yourself, but from others. That's number 2. That's giving and receiving of the heart. And what is circulation of the mind? I really believe circulation of the mind is acceptance of what is and then releasing that so you can move forward. Accepting what is and then releasing. So often we get into resistance of what is. Resisting that we're in a pandemic, resisting that we need to pivot with our businesses, resisting that he didn't call back, or resisting what is. When we get into acceptance of what is, then we can honor it, accept it, release it, and say, okay, how am I going to create something even better moving forward?